Hey guys, DC Network here, coming at you with another video. In a recent interview with Cartoon Base, Duncan Rouleau discussed a plethora of topics regarding the future of Ben 10. We discussed in a recent video the implications that some of his comments have on the 6 series of Ben 10 and what exactly is happening right now with that show. I'll leave a card above to that video if you haven't seen it yet, but there's a plethora of other topics that he discussed in this interview, and today I wanted to touch on some of the possible directions future Ben 10 projects could go in based on some questions that Duncan was asked. So one of the questions that Cartoon Base asked Duncan, given the fans' positive reception to your previous concept, could you expand on your vision for an adult Ben 10 animated series? Duncan responded saying that is always something that's on the table, and as the fan base grows and still watches animation, it becomes a real possibility. I've said this time and time again regarding whatever the next iteration of Ben 10 is, whatever it turns into, it's going to be something that's much more mature and much more serious in tone than what we saw with the Ben 10 reboot. As we've seen with Cartoon Network in general lately, and the shows that Cartoon Network Studios has been producing and premiering, most of them on Adult Swim, and even some of the Warner Brothers animation series as well that's been on Adult Swim, and even Batman Cape Crusader on Amazon Prime Video, they're all geared towards teenagers and young adults. Not every show they've been making, but a lot of them have been, right? You have My Adventures with Superman, you have Adventure Time Fiona and Cake, you have Unicorn Warriors Eternal, Batman Cape Crusader, just to name a few. All of those series are geared towards young adults slash teenage audiences. Yes, you as a 10-year-old kid could enjoy My Adventures with Superman. You as a 10-year-old kid could enjoy Batman Cape Crusader. But those shows are clearly meant for older demographics. And I think that what Duncan's saying here, that an adult Ben 10 is a real possibility, because number one, we know Man of Action wants to do it. And number two, if you just look at what else Cartoon Network Studios and Warner Brothers Animation is doing right now, that's the medium they're focusing on. They are focusing on that age demographic. So yeah, Ben 10 that's meant for adults is something that's definitely on the table, and I think that that is the form that the next iteration of Ben 10 is going to take. Whatever the next Ben 10 ends up being, it's going to be something that is meant for older audiences. Once again, I will reiterate, yes, you as a 10-year-old kid, you can enjoy the 6th iteration of Ben 10, but if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever the case may be, if you're a teenager, you're going to love the 6th iteration because it's being made with you in mind. The next question we have is from Cartoon Base as well. They asked, if given the opportunity to create a Ben 10,000 special or series, what would it look like? And Duncan said it would be epic, which again is a bit of a nothing statement, but we know once again that, hey, Man of Action wants to eventually do something with Ben 10,000. Obviously, that's a character that's appeared a couple of times now in the Ben 10 franchise, so I think that at a given point, it's probably inevitable that we will see a Ben 10,000 series. I don't think it's gonna be what's next. I feel like a Ben 10 show with Ben in his 20s would be perfect because it would be kind of parallel to the age demographic that the kids watching the original Ben 10 when they were like 5-10 years old, they're now in their 20s, 30s now. So a Ben 10 series where he's in his 20s, maybe approaching 30, that would be something that I think would be perfect for right now, because those kids who grew up with the original series, they can relate to the character. Ben will be dealing with different issues in his own life in the show that those kids are dealing with in the real world now. The audience will be able to relate to the character, so I think that's the direction that the next Ben 10 will take. But I do think Ben 10,000 is definitely on the horizon, whether it be a mini-series, a little movie, or a full-blown series at one point sometime in the future. The next question comes from Ben 10 Protector. They said Ben 10 Omniverse was supposed to have a 9th and 10th season, and if you guys don't know about this, I'll leave a card above to that video because I discussed all the details on that, because that was a rather fascinating topic that I did not know about. But it was canceled many years ago, so many shows are being revived nowadays, like Regular Show, Phineas and Ferb. Would you like the idea if Ben 10 Omniverse was revived for a 9th and 10th season on Adult Swim targeting mature audiences, just like what happened with Samurai Jack Season 5? Duncan responds saying, we definitely would love to explore Ben's stories at different ages, ones that are more mature, others that lean into different genres. As far as revisiting one specific show iteration, most likely that isn't in the cards right now. So I don't really think that Ben 10 Omniverse is getting revisited. I know I made that video a while ago talking about the 9th and 10th seasons. Again, if you haven't seen that, definitely check it out because it's a rather interesting topic. But I think that ship has sailed. I don't think they're going to go back to Ben 10 Omniverse. Quite frankly, I don't want them to go back to Ben 10 Omniverse because I feel like that show was phenomenal. Leave it alone. Let's do something new with the franchise. Let's take Ben 10 in another direction, continuing the story of Ben Prime, right? That's what I want them to do. I think that's what most fans want them to do, is continue Ben Prime's story, whether it be him in his, 20s, whether he's 30, whether it's Ben 10,000. I think we all want to see the progression of that character, but I don't think returning to Omniverse Omniverse is the way to go. I don't think that's the direction they should take. He also says that we want to explore Ben's stories at different ages, ones that are more mature, one that leans into different genres, right? So like I said before, they want to make different age stories for Ben 10. They are going to make an older audience Ben 10. If they make an adult Ben 10 series, he's going to be in his 20s. I'm telling you right now, he's going to be in his 20s. Maybe he's in his early 30s, but I would think most likely his 20s. That's what they're going to do. Also, they want to make a Ben 10,000 series. He's in his 30s and his 40s at that point. Different ages for Ben, right? They maybe one day want to go explore Ben as a 10-year-old again in another reboot continuity. A different reboot, maybe it's more, I don't know. It takes a different direction from what the reboot did that we got in 2016, 2017. He says we want to make shows that are more mature, which again, I think lines up with what I was saying before. They're going to make the next iteration of Ben 10 something that older audiences can enjoy, but at the same time, they want to lean into other genres as well with other iterations of Ben 10. I have said this in countless videos, but there is no reason that Cartoon Network cannot have 1 to 2 to even 3 ongoing Ben 10 series at the same time. We see it with other franchises, right? You look at SpongeBob SquarePants right now. It has SpongeBob SquarePants. It has the Patrick Star Show. It had Camp Coral. I don't know if those are all ongoing still, but my point is there were 3 different shows in the world of SpongeBob. There's no reason you can't have 2 to 3 different shows in the world of Ben 10. You could have a Ben 10 that's on Adult Swim or Max that's meant for older audiences following Ben in his 20s. You can have a Ben 10 on Cartoon Network. Maybe it's a more silly, light-hearted series, kind of like the reboot. It's meant for younger audiences. That's fine because you also have that Ben 10 that's meant for older audiences on Adult Swim. They could also have a Ben 10 for preschoolers, right? I touched on this in a recent video. You can make a Ben 10 that, I don't know, canonically speaking, he doesn't get to watch until he's 10 years old, but maybe they make Ben and he's 5 and he is at a daycare with a bunch of aliens. I don't know. Something for preschool audiences, right? They can do that too. I think there's a lot of possibilities for Ben 10 in the future, and quite frankly, I think Cartoon Network needs to realize, hey, we could do a lot with this franchise. We definitely need to explore the possibilities beyond just a 6th iteration of Ben 10. We need to see what else we can do with this. What spin-offs can we do? Maybe we could do some movies, some live action series, and Duncan actually comments on all of that, and we're going to save that for a future video because there is a lot more from this interview. Stay tuned for that, but for now, let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about all of this. What do you guys think about a potential Ben 10,000 series, an adult Ben 10 series on Adult Swim, a potential return to Omniverse? Let me know down below which you would like to see, if any of those. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more content like this from DC Network. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.